If you invest $300 a month for the next 30 years at an 8% return, you'll have $407,819.56. But what if I told you that if you just got a 10% return on that money, 2 more percent, then you would have $592,178.48. Now hear me out. If you could invest $500 a month during that same 30-year period, at that same 10% return, you could end up with $986,964.14. So how do I know this? Over the last 20 years, I've dedicated my life to memorizing complex mathematical equations with the ability to calculate multi-layered formulas in mere seconds. Actually, I was just using my favorite investment calculators, and today I want to show you the top 3 investment calculators on the internet to help you calculate the future value of your money and help you guide your investment strategies. So let's jump right in. Okay, to use these investment calculators, you're going to need to know 4 pieces of information. One is, what is your current investment balance? So adding up your 401k, your IRA, your Robinhood account, your crypto, anything you have invested, let's take the total of all those investments. That's your initial investment. Number 2, you're going to need to know how much you can contribute each month. So let's say you get paid twice a month. How much money are you putting away per paycheck in your 401k? How much money can you squeeze out of your budget to start funding that Roth IRA, right? So we're going to just need to know how much can you invest in total per month. Number 3, you're going to need to know your timeline. What is the length of time you want to know how much these investments will grow? Hint, the longer, the better. It lets compound interest work its magic. And number 4, you're going to need to know the expected rate of return on these investments. So with those 4 pieces of information, let's jump into the first calculator. Okay, calculator number 1 is brought to us by the lovely Securities and Exchange Commission. Thank you, SEC. If you just go to investor.gov, you can check out this investment calculator. It's just a simple compound interest calculator. So to use this, let's just say you're starting your investing journey. You don't have any initial investment. There's nothing here. And let's say you're in your 20s and you're going to only be able to contribute maybe about $300 a month between your 401k contribution and a little bit into the IRA. You're going to put about $300 a month away. But because you're young, you have a longer time to invest before retirement. So let's put in 40 years of time you're going to compound. And the interest rate, I like to use 8% because it's below the stock market average, which average anywhere from 8 to 12% depending on the index you're following. But an 8% estimated return is on par with the stock market. And one thing I like about this specific calculator is they have what's called the interest rate variance range. So if you put in, say, 2% there, it'll say, okay, you wanted to earn 8%, but what happens if you only earn 6%? Or even better, what happens if you actually average 10% over those 40 years? They're going to show you all of those results. So we'll go down here, and the compound frequency, we're just going to leave it at annually. If you have some investment account that compounds more frequently, you can change this number. But for now, we're just going to keep it at annual, and I'm going to hit calculate here. So as you can see, at an 8% return, $300 a month, even starting from 0, if you let it grow long enough, it'll be over $900,000, which is amazing. And that's that power of compound interest. And what I like about this graph here is it shows you, the first 10 years of investing is pretty boring. And the difference between 6 to 10% return isn't very much. And you're really not seeing all that growth until really the end of the growth curve. So investing is kind of a slow, ongoing process, but given enough time, it is magical. One more thing I like about this calculator, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here, is they hit this show table button, and it'll actually show you what your balance could be. Investing isn't necessarily a straight line. There's ups and downs, but this is what it could be year over year if you're getting that compounding interest return, right? So year 1, it's just that $300 a month invested, and then it grows by 8% and then grows by 8% again and again and again. You can see it's kind of boring for the first almost 20 years. It takes you 16 years just to pass that $100,000 mark from year 16. But if you go down a little further to get over 200,000, it only took you another 7 years. And then from go to 200,000 to 300,000 only took you like 3 or 4 years. So you can see compounding is all about time. So anyway, this is the investor.gov calculator, super easy to use, and I'll have a link in the description below. Love him or hate him, Dave Ramsey has changed millions of lives through his financial programs. And he's got a pretty sweet calculator on his website here. So I like this investment calculator. It's kind of my go-to on my mobile phone as well. But let's just punch in some numbers so I can show you how the thing functions. So let's say you're now 30 and you want to see that by the time you're 65, that you want to retire at 65. So you're going to invest for 35 years. So you're 30 now, you've been investing, $300 a month. And let's say you got about 25 grand put away at this point. But you can contribute a little bit more. You're a little further along in your career. So you can put away $500 a month. And we're going to use that same 8% annual return. And so we'll just calculate that. And look at that. 35 years. If you just start with that $25,000 in capital, you can put a little more away per month. Now you're going to have $1.5 million by the time you're 65. So another cool thing about this calculator is it shows you this right here, the initial balance, right? This is where you started with, $25,000. You contributed $210,000 over your 35 working years, but check this out. Over $1.3 million of that total is just growth. So that's that, again, small amounts over a long period of time. The growth is going to eventually outpace how much you've contributed to this investment. And I like that they calculate, hey, you're going to be a millionaire in this specific year. So they put a little orange bar in their graph. They say, hey, you're a millionaire at this point. And then you can see, again, how quickly it grows after that. And then they have this nice little what if I section here that says, what if I could find an extra $100 a month? So instead of $500 a month, maybe you could do $600. And they use your actual numbers you plug into this calculator. So this could really be $187,000 based on the calculations. Same thing, give up the daily coffees, $4.28 a day times 30 days, it's about $128 a month. $240,000 added to the balance if you just, make coffee at home. Giving up weekly restaurants. And I'm laughing because there's a lot of controversy around giving up, conveniences, but the math doesn't lie here. Same thing, $200 a month toward restaurants. If you instead put that toward your investment goals, it could be an extra $375,000. So again, love him or hate him, he's got a great little investment calculator here. Okay, and finally, the most detailed calculator here is on calculator.net. You just check out their investment calculator, and you can see a couple of different things here. So their initial calculator is kind of like the other ones, right? So you just put in your starting amount, how long you want to invest for, the return rates, and your additional contributions per month. But you can customize them. So let's say you're a little bit older. Let's say you have 100 grand invested, and let's say you've got 30 years left. So you're actually 35. You got your balance up to $100,000, and you're going to have that 8% rate of return. But got a great job, and now you can invest $1,000 a month. But check it out. You can actually calculate: are you contributing at the beginning of the month or the end of the month? Because apparently there's a difference, and you can change it to an annual contribution amount as well. So let's just do end of the month, calculating this. So as you can see, your balance at the end will be $2.4 million, which is incredible. And again, it shows you the starting amount and your total contributions. So total together is about $460,000 of your money, and then the growth was almost $2 million, which is crazy. But if you go down and check out this graph, it actually splits that up for you as well. But they also have a very, very detailed, almost like amortization table breakdown of what your balance will look like, as well as your principal that's invested the whole time, and how much interest you earn along the way per year. And if you're super nerdy, you can even break it down by month, right? So you can say, hey, look, at the beginning, I'm earning $643.40 a month. And then, by the time I get to year 22, I'm making $8,000 a month from my investments. It's pretty cool to see. So let's go to additional contributions. So this is saying, okay, how much do you need to invest per month to hit your investment goal? So if your investment goal is, let's say, $1.5 million, and you're starting with $100,000, you got 30 years left, you need to contribute $350 a month. We were playing with the numbers of it contributing $1,000 a month, but they're saying, hey, if you're starting at $100,000, you want to get to $1.5 million, you got 30 years, you got an 8% return, you actually need to put $350 a month away. So you can take your foot off the gas a little bit, right? Same thing with your return rate. Maybe you know that you are going to be able to contribute $1,000 a month for 30 years with starting at $100,000. And it's just saying, hey, you only need to eke out a 5.8% return. You don't need 10 to 12%. So maybe that allows you to take a little less risk in your investment portfolio. So again, this return rate allows you to kind of reverse engineer that. Same thing with starting amount. Maybe you aren't sure how much you need to start with to hit this goal. It's saying you only need 10 grand, $9,000 basically, and you have 100 grand. So great, awesome, no big deal. The same thing with length of time. You want to get to 1.5 million. How long is that going to take? If you start with 100 grand, you're getting that 8% return, you're putting 1,000 a month in, boom, you could get there in about 25 years. So instead of investing for the full 30, you only need to invest for 25 to hit your goal. So this is a much more complicated calculator, but it allows you to kind of reverse engineer some of these numbers and figure out some of these variables for your investment plan. So this is, again, calculator.net if you want to check that out. All right, there we go. That's my 3 favorite investment calculators. Again, I'll have links to all the resources in the description so you can check them out and try them out for yourself. And if you have a favorite investment calculator, maybe it wasn't mentioned in this video, feel free to drop a link in the comments below and tell me why you like it, and I'll check it out. And if you like this channel, hit the subscribe button because there's going to be more and more videos coming out to help you with your finances. And if you need a place to get started to maybe squeeze some more money out of that budget to invest more, grab a copy of my free budget template, link in the description below. And investing changed my life, which is why I want to help more people figure it out. And if you want to hear more about the story of how I quit my job, sold everything, and we traveled in an RV for 2.5 years because of investing, check out the video here.